Okay, we as adults all know that we did our fair share of shit in this world. We all know that, and we can admit that to ourselves. And what I say to my congregation, my family, is that no one is perfect, but that don't give you a right to sin. Everybody has some fault. Yet, even though everybody has some fault or some big crime, area, they hide it behind a mask. So everyone's wearing a mask. And then you got the cardinal sins that everybody is guilty of at least one, and some people is guilty of multiple, cardinal sins. And so no one can escape this. You have a problem, and basically you hide these problems. And basically, every time you think it's bad, a situation like, is my girl cheating, or my wife cheating, or my man cheating, or is this person gay or not, or is this person doing something behind my back? Every time you think it's bad, it is 1,000 times worse. And so basically, I tell my people, I would rather not hide my crimes from people. So today we're going to be talking about Eric Gonzalez and Pastor Dow, and Dow's, wow. We just going to get into it, man.
All right, brothers and sisters, we had a long night tonight. Kind of went over and stuff a little bit. We thank y'all for Brother Eric,
my pleasure,
and his family to be here to add to the ministry right here, to provide and bring wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, as well as good testimonies. It's been a blessing.
So basically, these cardinal sins that everyone does is liar. So it's some people who are liars, pathological liars. Then you got the gays, then you got the murderers, sexual predators, the rapists, the child molester. Then you got the drug addicts, those who are addicted to drugs. You one of these. And then you got the in the closet, you gay, but you hiding, and then you got married, you got children and everything else, and you trying to hide behind the marriage. Then you got the animal fuckers, men who love beasts, or women who love beasts. Then you got the disbelievers, the atheists, who have no God, the ones who are addicted to chaos. And that one, the ghetto is full of these, addicted to chaos. They always doing something chaotic and keeping some shit going, And then you got the slut, she does porn, she'll screw anybody, anywhere, anytime, and he will too. And then you got the mentally insane. Everybody that I know is one of these. They have a weakness, whether they acting on this or not, it's there, and you choose one. And I know what mine is. You should know what yours is. And trust no one to say that who says they don't have one of these faults. Don't trust them, because they all liars. And then I'm gonna say, every situation is nothing but a masquerade until you figure out what the hell is going on. And time is the only way you're gonna figure out what's going on. And sometimes it only takes seconds, and sometimes it takes longer. So we get this situation with George Gonzalez, Pastor Dow. So here's the situation, and just like I said, when you think Pastor Dow is bad, it gets fucking worse. Somehow George Gonzalez meets Pastor Dow, and basically he wants to be a part of Straightway, or he is a part of Straightway, and I guess he was Straightway Florida or something, I don't know. So he's a part of Straightway some type of way. And basically he took his whole family down to Tennessee, and they all met Pastor Dow and everything else. And and this is what's being put out there. And so basically, I guess George Gonzalez is doing some shady business himself. So basically, he leaves his family with Dow 3 months, 6 months at a time, on Dow's property, while he go to Miami and the Middle East and places like that to take care of some business.
I really didn't like how he was treating Nelly, because that was like a booty call. You drop her off and it's like you gonna come back, be with her, for one feast, and then the next you don't see you for 5-6 months. You come back again, you be with her again, and you leave again, because after Passover he left. So they got dropped off in August. You came back October visit, then you came back again, Passover visit once again, and you had no intentions on taking him the same. And that just was, I don't understand that. I don't know any husband, I don't know any father that feels very comfortable leaving their children somewhere else, leaving their wife somewhere else. It don't matter who it is. I don't care who it is. I don't care if they're a saint. It don't matter to me. My family belongs to me.
Supposedly he said he sent money back. So when he come back 2, 3, or 6 months later, and his wife was supposed to be there waiting on him, basically he just bangs his wife, says hello, pats his kids on the head, and takes off again. That's a criminal. So he doing some criminal act. 10 times out of 10, he got some man or some woman on the side, some other interest somewhere, and he trying to live a free man's life, but then have his cake and eat it too. So we know what that situation is. Nobody in the situation is innocent at all. But just like I said, when you running a ministry and you are the minister of the ministry, how in the hell can people respect you if you screwing the whole congregation? So I said, Dow remind me of Eddie Long, and he does, and he guilty as fuck, and I wouldn't trust Dow around men or women. And you left your whole family there, and you one of them gullible, stupid fools who think that there's some good people in there in the world that's gonna take care of your best interests while you out doing shitty work. No, when you fucking people over, somebody's there to fuck you over 10 times more, and that person was Dow. So Dow took right away to his wife and basically locked himself up in a room and did an interview with his wife.
A Hebrew Israelite from Miami, Florida. And this is Sister from Miami, Florida. And her husband will be on live tonight. But, Sister Nelly has such a wonderful testimony that will strengthen you daughters of Zion out there, because it's good for you to hear from another Israelite sister when you can understand some of the challenges and things that you yourself deal with on a daily basis, to see how peaceful and how happy another daughter of Zion is once she has come out of it. So Sister Nelly, can you please tell us your testimony, if you don't mind sharing it with the YouTube audience out there?
Hello everyone on YouTube. My testimony is like many others who were deceived and kept from the truth of being the servant of Christ, the Lord or Savior. And I was, for many years since I was born, a Christian. And when I was introduced to Pastor Dow, I was outraged at what I was hearing.
You got mad at me?
I did. I was very upset at my husband for even entertaining listening to a deceiver, listening to a deceiver, listening to a deceiver.
That's a no-no. That's a no-no. Men can't even be alone today because they know it's a problem with women in the hospital doing anything. Doctors cannot be alone anymore because people are not to be trusted. Just because you the pastor, it doesn't give you a right to be alone with another man's wife in a room. Your wife should have been in there with you. You know what I mean? And so basically, you got this woman alone and you working on her. And now people on the ranch is saying that you sneaking away in the woods, they catching y'all, you and this man's wife, and y'all going on little trips in the wood together.
What a lot of people started seeing was a lot of private, even in public, to try to make it seem not inappropriate. They were at least out of their ears, but they were pretty isolated. Oh my gosh. And no. Right. And so, I mean, I have people that left the land that said they've seen them going into the woods in the evening during certain feast days, where all of a sudden they disappear in the woods.
You know, and then all of a sudden, when the man come back, his wife don't want nothing to do with him.
During that time, we lived in Florida, Miami, Florida. I had lived there all my life at this point. I had seen a lot of change in my mother as we were learning all of this truth, and her change had encouraged me to change, you know, for holiness. What I had seen was when we learned about this truth, you know, she stopped going to Sunday church, was very diligent about, you know, keeping the Shabbat. She decided on her own without anybody forcing her to dress holy, you know, cover her head, wear skirts, you know, just following the example that she had seen.
Why? Because Dow was banging her. Dow was banging his wife. And then basically, it's some kind of little allegation where the wife is saying that he raped her. He raped her. You know, that the husband raped her. You know, and that ain't gonna fly nowhere. But then Dow goes on the attack and he files paperwork. Come on, you know you're screwing this man's wife, you know, and you're supposed to be the leader, setting the example. You file paperwork to keep the man off of the land, you know, and basically, because the man said, I'm coming to see my kids no matter what. And then basically now it's a great falling away. You know, you sitting the man packing. You can't no longer come on there. We got legal paperwork to say you can't come on land, and that was openly threatening the guy. If you come on the land, there's gonna be altercations. Why? You not allowing this man to see his wife and kids?
But I will tell you this, Eric Gonzalez, you're not allowed ever to step foot back again on this land here at Straightway, ever again. And I hope that you can take this warning. I hope you can, and be a very wise man. Because there's one man definitely ain't playing. This one sitting in front of us.
The Bible goes on to make a threat that if I know any better, I will not go over there now. When we have spoken, I made it very adamant in that sit down that there was no man that was going to keep me from visiting my children.
They still married. Somehow, through some shady paperwork, Dow then got this woman down divorced. And not only that, this man's kids is on your land, you know. And not only that, his daughter becomes Dow's personal massage therapist. So you got this man's 15-year-old daughter massaging you. See, it's just some funny business all the way around. What pastor you know do that? You know, and he keeps saying glory to the king, which is, I believe he's talking to itself, you know, or about itself. And so anyway, you got the man's daughter massaging you. You got that, you screwing his wife. You know, you kicked the husband off of the land, and basically then you went and found a husband on your land for his daughter. Yeah. And so you married a man off, and so you hooked his daughter up with a man on the land. And basically now she married to this guy, and on the marriage certificate Dow puts he puts his name as the father of George Gonzalez, Eric Gonzalez, you know, her father. He put his name in place of him. And so anyway, then it's back and forth. You know, now you the worst son of a bitch that ever stepped foot in the world because you banging his wife. You know, and then you brought their whole family up there, you know, and you visiting, and I can look at her father and he knows in his heart something is foul with that whole situation. And then you suck your kids and everything else. No man leaves his kids with another man. and then don't expect things to go. Nobody leaves his whole family with another man or with strange people and then expect things not to go south. And other people said Dow have been hitting on them as well and doing weird ass shit like saying come and rub my face and pop some pimples on my face, and he approaching people's wives and doing that. You couldn't approach my wife and do that and then have your face. You just couldn't approach my wife and do that. You know, and then you ain't gonna sit and have no interview with my wife alone. You know, I don't know how people trust people, man. Everybody's a fucking snake, and I say it again. Everybody is gay. Everybody's a murderer. You one of them. Everybody's a sex predator. Everybody's a fucking rapist or a child molester. Everybody's a drug addict. Everybody's in the closet. Everybody's animal fuckers, the disbelievers, atheists that have no God. They addicted to chaos. They sluts or they mentally insane. They one of them. They one of them. Or some people is multiple. They have multiple disorders, but everybody got one, and you don't know what the hell each individual is hiding. God knows what you hide, though. So anyway, you got the daughter going against the father. Foul. You know, you done married his daughter out, and basically, you took the dowry of supposedly the father, and Dow took it itself, which was SUV, 6 knots of gold, something like that, and $5,000. Dow took that as a dowry for that girl, and that's some mess, you know. And then basically everybody in some mess, and then nobody's walking around saying anything, because the moment you open up your mouth and speak against Dow, then you in the same picture as Eric Gonzalez. Everybody got to go around and worship this man. Come on, this is a cult, people, and this shit is sick. And so I'm not saying it. Just I keep trying to say, no one is perfect. We all have these diseases and everything else. And I'm making this video to say that trust no man, trust no man, trust no man. Trust no woman, trust no child, trust no doctor, trust no lawyer. I don't like my wife to go to the doctor, even if she have to. I don't like it, because you with a man have a woman in there, and I still don't trust the situation. Not to say, oh, my wife is acting slutty. I just don't trust the situation with my wife or my family with any strange people. You know, and I don't know how y'all feel, but that's how I am. Some of y'all is gullible as hell. And then people are screwing your kids over. Family fuck your shit over first. You should know that. And so you got that porno star Pinky, whatever her fucking name is, that slut. And basically I'm sitting here watching some interview and shit. And don't ask me some World Star hip hop shit. You know, World Star just fucked up the minds of the kids, don't it? You know, you watching and say, okay, what is these kids watching on this? You know, because I see people protesting World Star hip hop, adults. What are they actually watching on here? Pinky, and she's showing her ass to all these kids on here. She naked, she doing all kind of wicked ass shit, you know. And I say, you are a porn star, you a slut, and you hindering everybody's child around the world with your ass, your naked ass every damn where. So you just corrupted everybody's family and house, you know. And then you claiming that you're a victim. So basically her mama married supposedly some other man and shit, and another man start bumping and grinding with her wicked ass, you know. And then basically she starts screwing the family members, her, you know. And then basically she got on the outside, and then she started prostituting, and then she went into porno, and then she became Stinky Pink, you know. And then she got diseases and all that other shit, and foul, and then you live in foul and shit, and you still crying about the man who touched your poo-poo. And I said, you done did 20,000 times worse to your damn self, worse to your damn self than that man could have ever done to you, you know. And then you done did 20 billion times worse to society at large, corrupting everybody. You got corrupted, and you done corrupted millions, you know. And then you still think you have a right to be mad at somebody. You became a worse predator than him. You know, because you got the family members, you got the friends, you know, you start prostituting, you set a total bad example to the whole fucking world. And then these people claim a god. So anyway, I thought this situation was a very sick situation. You got the girl's new husband, you know, that Pastor Dow hooked her up with, claiming that, you know, that this man was slandering his wife and all that kind of stuff.
But things began to go real south with me, man, as he would continue to just attack his ex-wife's character. He continued to attack my character. And the last straw for me was a Facebook post he put up, basically trying to do what he called so-called exposing.
No matter what that man was doing, that was that man's wife. You know what I mean? It wasn't Pastor Dow's wife. And basically he said he tried to get permission from the guy's father and everything else. And basically he said he stopped dealing with the father because the way that he was slandering the mother. But come on, you're a grown ass damn man. How did Dow end up marrying that thing? You know, with his bitch ass. How did he end up marrying her? And they sleeping together now. When did they take a love interest, sir? You know, why don't you look at that instead of, you know, smashing and smearing that man's name through the mud? Why don't you grow the fuck up and say, you know, even the girl saying, my mother changed and she started acting different. Everybody noticed a change when you getting some new pipe laid on you, and you wasn't getting it regularly like that. And then look at Pastor Dow's wife. Just like I told you, she a hurt, miserable, you know what? Why? Because he just banging everything that he can bang it straight way.